Okay, everybody, you photographed your show, you packed up all your gear, you left, you're back at your office or your house, and you got your photos. What do you do next? We're going to go through our 5-step process on how we take care of our data and our photos after the show. So hang tight. I'm Robert Maxfield, and I've been a music and concert photographer in Dallas-Fort Worth for over 45 years. And I've covered everybody from artists in the back alleys to football stadiums, arenas, you name it. Well, to be honest, this video is a little bit more about our general process for post-production after we've shot the concert. And we cover some more things besides just doing your backup of your files. We cover how you handle your paperwork. Oh, I'm having to read my notes here. Prepare and process. Make contact and send, believe it or not, thank you letters to those people that were involved in helping us get our stuff that we needed. We check our gear and organize and clean up everything. So that's the 5 steps, and then we'll go through each one, and that's coming up. The very first thing I'm going to show you is once we're back to the office and done with our show and everything's good, we're going to show you how we back up and store our materials. And at that point, if you're not doing that, it's very important, unless the photos don't mean anything to you. But after you've done all that work, you got to have some way of storing and being able to retrieve them. And that's what we're going to show you first. The first process that we do after we do a concert, a festival, a show, somebody, an artist, is we take out our memory cards, and both our cameras that we use most of the time have dual memory card slots. One is compact flash and the other is SD, and the other camera has 2 SD cards in it. As you can see on our screen here, we have a large number of drives. Now, on this machine there's probably 23 terabyte worth of storage, and what we'll do is we'll copy one card from each of the cameras onto a master hard drive, and we'll copy it into a storage slot location, and we'll name it and give it a date. And at that point, what we'll do from there is we'll break down on the master list, in the master file folder, we'll put the artist or the event, and we'll label it with the date, and then we'll copy the files. Say there's 6 artists or 5 artists, we'll make a folder for each artist, and then we'll make a copy of take the files from the master and move them over to each artist's individual location. We'll do that in 2 different drives, a master drive and a backup drive, on this particular workstation. And then from there we'll copy all that off onto a portable hard drive and plug it into our backup station, so it's completely on a different machine. So we have it in 3 locations, and then periodically what we will do is we have a master hard drive. In fact, I just bought a new one. It arrived today, and we'll clean up the whole system after a certain amount of time. Yes, it does get messy, so we'll clean it up, get it organized, and then we'll copy everything over to that master hard drive, which is not on, it's kept not on any machine, so it's kept completely aside. You'll plug it up, move everything over to that one drive, label it and date it, put it, take it off the machine, put it into storage, and away you go. You're done. But the big key important thing is we have 3 drive locations, 3 different drives, 2 on one machine, 1 on another machine, and that's where we store all our stuff. The master file typically on the machines is called artist, and what we do with that is we break down all of the artists, the different artists that we shoot, or we put the festival, whichever is most convenient. If you've got, like in last year we had a 3-day event with 35 artists, so it doesn't make sense immediately to break them down. You do that as you have time. So as you can see here, we've got 111 different artist files, and that consists of 22,133 files and 1.6 terabytes of storage. And you figure the main camera we shoots each picture is about between 73 and 82 meg of storage on an SD card or a compact flash. So it's quite a bit. So what we do is we store a lot of our information this way. That way we can keep it neat, organized, and find it. And if something happens, which trust me, man, we do get disasters happen. We lost a drive not too long ago. We do have backups of all our work and keep it all organized. After we do all the copying and moving everything over and make sure that all our work is secure, at that point we go to bed. Start fresh the next day, and we start work. And right now we're working on the Texas Forever Fest, which we just did, and Texas Forever Fest, which was held in Plano, Texas. There were 5 bands, and it was good showing. So one of the artists is Nick Parr, and I've got Nick pulled up on the screen. So we're going to take one of Nick Parr's photographs. These are enlarged and big in the large icon, and we're going to pick one, and I'm going to look for one that looks pretty good, because Nick's pretty animated. He's very exciting. He's a lot of fun, and he has a good time, and the show's a lot of fun. So what I've done here is I've got all of him in one folder. I create a folder called JPG, which is where I put all his JPEGs once I create them. After I do that, I create another folder, and in this one I'm going to title it the name of the magazine in which they're going to go to. In this case, they're going to go to Buddy Magazine. So I create a folder called Buddy Magazine, and then I've already picked out half a dozen shots of Nick. But let me see here, 22, 23. I want to do one more. So I'm going to 22, 23. I'm going to pick 24. And what we use for processing is we use Photoshop and Camera Raw. All our shots are originally in the camera shot in RAW, and then they're converted to JPEG. And it takes a little bit to bring up Adobe, but once it comes up, it'll be here in just a second. But the workstation typically is set up with 23 terabytes of storage space. It's got 24 gig of RAM. It's a Ryzen 5 2400, and so it's getting a little long in the tooth, but it's not too bad. It works really well. Dual screens, and here he comes. So all right, I don't know if you can see him here. I'll bring you in a little bit. There we go. You get an idea what he looks like. And I'm going to take and look at him. And right now he was shot in daylight, so he's at 5100 Kelvin. I'm going to lower him down to 5000 Kelvin, which is it's pretty close to regular daylight either way. And then I'm going to take a little bit of his vibrance away and a little bit of saturation. And I'm going to increase the dehaze and the clarity. And from here, I think he looks pretty good. I think I want a little more contrast taken care of. a little more shadow, a little more blacks, and I want a little more white and a little more highlight. And I'm going to say that's good, and we'll take them over here to this side. Now you get a pretty good look at what he looks like here on the screen. And I've got a lot of overhead up here up top, which is the magazine requires. They like a lot of overhead or headroom so that they can put in their banner into that kind of area. So I will leave that like that. But typically what I will do is I will come in and hit the image and make adjustments to the levels, and I'll darken him up a hair, and then I'll lighten this up a little bit, and I'll hit him right there. All right, pardon me. And that looks pretty good. So then I'm going to crop him down a bit. Crop him, create a new folder, new file. And then that looks like what he looks like. And at this point, I'm going to take it, I'm going to save him. And I'm going to export him for the web. And what I do is I change the image size. And then I rename him, but I want to make sure he's going in the right place. And he's not. All right, that puts him in the right place. So what my naming convention is how it comes out of the camera. The first two initials of the artist, whether I've cropped it or not. If I did, I call it SM for small, and I call it JPG for JPEG, and I save it, and that's the processing that we go through. If you're wondering, I'm a little bit under the weather. You can catch the flu when you're around a whole lot of people in a big area like a festival, so please forgive me. So, but that's how basically what we do to save the information. Then we adjust the information, the photos. We change a little bit of things, manipulate them a little bit, and clean them up, and then organize them. And then after that, we take in contact. In this case, I've got to contact the publicist for one of the artists. I had to contact my my editor, and I contacted him. In fact, well, he contacted me because what he allows us to do is take a few pictures, one or two here or there, and post them out on Facebook with our watermark and our name on them, so and the magazine's name on them, so you can see that. I didn't show you how to do that. That's a whole separate video on how to create a watermark. You can find that. But we create those, and then we put those files in that folder for the magazine name. And then the next thing we do is we set up our Google Drive for the correspondence. But I'll show you that here real quick. So I had to contact the it's the social media director for one of the artists. They gave us approval, and they were very instrumental in getting our passes and stuff like that. We were treated absolutely wonderful. They went through and, in fact, gave us a place to store our gear and gave us the whole run of the place. It was awesome. So what we did is I sent her a letter saying that I've got the photos. I'm processing them right now. They'll be on their way. I'm going to be on the lookout for them. My editor for the magazine saw one of the photos that I processed and put on Facebook. He instantly knew I had the photos already and I was working on them. He contacted me and said, "Hey, all good. Be sure to watermark them and all that." So we checked base on that. So now what I'm going to show you is the next step of what we do once we have them organized, manipulated, and edited, and then what we do with them. We use Google Drive to send our photographs back and forth between artists, management, and the magazines. In this case, you can see one of the artists I've already got up, but the one we had to send, we put into Google Drive, and we had to send to their management team first to get the approval for which photographs they wanted to have put in the magazine. And that's pretty common. Sometimes the artist and the management want to protect their image. They don't want just junk and stuff thrown out there. They want good photos, and they want to be able to pick the photos that you use in the in your publications. So we created, let's see, where is it? We created a folder. I open up the folder. This is what we have inside that folder. There you go. And once inside the folder, we can back out, and I tell them, I tell Google Drive that I want to share this folder, and I tell share, and it allows me to put in the email address for who I'm going to share the folder with and what access they're going to have. You can give them access as an editor. You can give them access as a commenter. You can give them a viewer access where they can just see. Depends on what you want to do and how you feel about it, but selecting what access you want to give them is up to you. I tend to give everybody editor access so they can look at it and do stuff and take them down if they want to. It's not a big deal. But the first time I sent this out, I went out and I sent it to their management company. And then after they came back and sent me a letter of approval of what they wanted, I took out the ones they didn't want, and then I shared them with my publisher and my editors. So the magazine now has the copies of the ones that they want. So this is how you use Google Drive. Once you do your photographs, have them ready to go, send them to whoever you need to send them to, get approvals back, and then take care of all that after the show. After the show, it's a good idea to go through all your equipment, check it all out, make sure it's working and fine, and clean it up. So I keep a lens cloth and all that, and we go through an inspection of all our cameras and test fire them, make sure everything's okay. We've had a problem with this lens in the past, and in Louisville last year, I set it down on the ground. The front element fell out. I'm not real happy. I bought it refurbished from Nikon, and saved quite a bit of money. Put a 3-year warranty on it, and it was about a month out of warranty. So I got pretty good use out of it. It wasn't too bad. But what I did is I reseated the element and screwed it back into place. Pardon me. And everything was fine. I finished the show and used it, and everything was good. I was going, thank you. But I noticed that it rattles a little bit, and I had a problem with it rattling. And there are two little screws right here and right here. And I took a jeweler screwdriver and I screwed them down tight, and lo and behold, the thing quit rattling. And what I'll do is I'll show you at the end of the video, I'll show you a picture out of this camera after I'd made those repairs, and you can't tell any difference in being that the lens had some problems. You can't tell. The other thing I noticed too at the concert, it was a daylight concert. We were there shooting from like 11 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at night, and you had all kinds of daylight. And unlike inside of a dark club or a dark arena, someplace like that, where you can see the information in your viewfinder, sunlight creeps into the back of the camera, and you cannot see the screen in the viewfinder. So I also, when I bought the camera from B&H. Also, it was used very low miles, but originally it was a $3,000 camera, and I paid $6.5 for it. Not too bad, but it didn't have the eyepiece, the DK19 eyepieces on it. It had the screen was there, the eyepiece itself, but it was missing the rubber cup. So I bought two of those, and they were $6.95 a piece, and got them on Amazon. They were $6.95 for two, and they said because they fall off, and I was like, okay, but they're a little bit difficult to install, but I don't know if I'll do it or not, but I've got them just in case. And that's part of the stuff that you have to do after the show, is go ahead and check all your gear, make sure it's there, make sure you've got everything, make sure it's in good condition and is working, or if it needs repairs, get it repaired before the next show. And that's what we do with all our equipment. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth step, and this is one that we're going to show a little bit of the additional stuff I was telling you about at the end of the video. We take and send our host, managers, artists, whoever helps us out tremendously, we send them a thank you card. And as a new part of the process in the thank you card, I've started putting examples of the work that we do inside the thank you card with a personal note inside the back of the photograph for them, so that they are able to have a copy of it. So I bought a box of Ilford Smooth Pearl, 100 sheets, 4x6. And what this is good for is we could take the photograph and put it in Photoshop, bring it down to 4x3, 3x4, and then at that point, print it out, put it through the paper cutter, fill out the fill out the card itself, and then from there we put it in the envelope. We use a Canon Pro 100 photo printer. This is an example of what the photograph comes out once we print it. It's just small, it's nothing fancy, but it's an example of what the work is. We fill out the card, say thank you to whoever we need to, any kind of notes we have to do. Put it inside, put it in an envelope, address it, mail it, and at the same time, one of the things we do is, if we do not already have the person we're dealing with's contact information, we put their contact information inside of our contact manager, so we know who to deal with next time if we have to, if we're we need to go back and see them again, or if we anything like that, it comes in very handy. And what's crazy is you'll find out that at least in the genre of music that we deal with, a lot of the same people are managed by the same people. So you'll go down and you say, well, I need to make a contact with this particular artist, and you'll bring them up and you'll look down and you'll find out their management is somebody that you dealt with 6 months ago, and if you had a good experience and good relationship with them, then you should be okay. And send them a thank you card and remind them also, when you go to see them again, remind them that, hey, I did some work for you where I shot this artist, and now I'm interested in shooting this artist. Would it be okay? And at that point, they'll give you their approval or not. But always tell people, if you can, how much you appreciate them, what they did for you, because it makes your life a whole lot easier. So, if you liked anything you see in the video, man, press the like button. If you please subscribe. It helps us out. Our channel is growing. It's kind of a different channel. We're here to help you become better music and concert photographers. That's our main goal. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, any of that stuff, man, go ahead, send us a comment. We'll answer your comments. We answer all the ones we can find, and we appreciate you viewing. So until next week, I'm Robert Maxfield. Thanks for watching. Have a good week.